Aloha, this is Heidi at EC Peasy. Welcome to part 1 of our 2-part series all about flat cloth diapers. In this first video, I'm going to cover the basics of flats. What is a flat cloth diaper? What sizes do they come in? What are the benefits of using flats and covers? We'll take a look at some flats, including woven flats and stretchy flats. And I'll show you a couple ways that you could fold them and put them on your baby. In the second video, we're going to get into the fun stuff, the variations on flats. Preflats, Eflats, tail fin flats, BeEflats, fixed flats. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. We'll be taking a close look. So please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll know when part 2 of the series comes out. First up, what is a flat cloth diaper? The most basic form of a flat is a single layer square piece of absorbent fabric. It can either be something that's sold specifically as a flat cloth diaper, or it can be something that you repurpose and use as a diaper, such as a cotton flannel receiving blanket or a flour sack towel, otherwise known as a kitchen drying towel. The cool thing about flats is that once you learn how to fold them and put them onto your baby, you can use almost anything as a flat cloth diaper, even a t-shirt. So it's a great skill to know in case you're ever in a pinch or an emergency situation. Let's cover some of the benefits of using flats and covers as your cloth diapering system. Flats are very customizable. You can fold them in different ways to fit a wide range of babies. You could fold them in a way to make more absorbency up front or more absorbency in the center. You can add boosters to make them more absorbent as well. Flats are also very versatile. When you're done using them as cloth diapers, you can use them as towels, as blankets, as a nursing cover. I have a Birdseye flat that I use on our mop to mop the floor. The possibilities are just endless. When it's just a piece of fabric, you can repurpose it in so many ways. One of the reasons that I personally really like flats, especially the stretchy flats that we use, is I think they're really comfortable for my baby to wear. It's like wearing a nice stretchy pair of underwear. Another benefit of flats is they can be a very trim option as far as cloth diapers go. You know, some cloth diapers can give a very fluffy bum. I like for my baby to allow as much freedom of movement as possible, so I'm always looking for trim styles of cloth diapers. Flats can also be a great option if you're looking for cloth diapers that are all natural. There are some versions of flats that are 100% cotton. There's a whole bunch of other variations as well. One benefit that draws a lot of people to flat cloth diapers is that using flats and covers can be one of the most economical options out there. It's going to depend on the type of flat cloth diapers and the type of covers you choose. And let's not forget, the most popular feature of flats is that they're the easiest type of cloth diaper to wash and dry. So perhaps if you're going to be taking cloth diapers traveling, or you're going to be hand washing your cloth diapers, or you know you're going to need to hang dry them sometimes, flats can be a great option to choose. Now we're going to take a look at some of the various sizes that flat cloth diapers come in. They're often considered a one-size cloth diaper because you can get a one-size flat, and there's ways to fold it to make it fit even on a newborn baby. You can fold each of the corners into the center, and then from there you have a smaller square to start your folds and do mini versions of the folds. Then when your baby's a bit older, you can use the full-size square flat, and when they get even older, you might just pad fold it and be able to keep on using it that way. However, although there are a lot of one-size flats, there is a variation too of what's available. Here are a couple examples of one-size flat cloth diapers. After multiple times washing and drying, these have shrunk to about 25 inches square. This is a Cloth-eez Muslin one-size flat, and this is a Cloth-eez Birdseye one-size flat. If you're located in the United States, Green Mountain Diapers, which sells the Cloth-eez brand, is a great place to get flat cloth diapers. For comparison, this is a newborn muslin flat, so it's almost the same width as the one size, and then it comes up a bit taller than half of the one size. This is considered a Birdseye half flat. Again, it would be used on a newborn. It's about the same width and a little bit more than half as tall as the one size Birdseye. This newborn version of the Birdseye isn't quite as tall as the muslin. I find that when you fold it into a square, it does make more of a square shape than when you fold one of these in half, it makes a bit more of a rectangular shape. For the muslin, there's also an extra large swaddle blanket option, which is like a really big flat cloth diaper. You could use this as a flat on a toddler. I use one on a wool puddle pad. You could use it as a blanket as well. It's quite large. For the Birdseye, in addition to this one size, there's also an option called size large. I don't have one of those here to show you though. Now for sizing of stretchy flats, it varies from brand to brand, and if you make your own, you can really choose any size. But in general, newborn is 20 or 22 inches square. Infant can be 24 or 25 inches square. One size tends to be 27 or 28 inches square, and toddler stretchy flats are 30 inches square. Here are some examples of some stretchy flat cloth diapers. This is a Thirsties one size flat. With washing and drying, it's kind of distorted and it's more of a rectangle now than a square. It's approximately 25 inches across this way right now, and then it's stretched out longer than that. For comparison here, I have one on top of the other. On top here, we have an infant-sized fruit of the womb flat. So this one is about 25 inches square. They also make a newborn size, which is about 22 inches square, so it'd be a little bit smaller. When I made a DIY newborn one, I think I made it at 20 inches square. This one on the bottom is from the brand Cooper Rose. This started out as 30 inches square, but they refer to this one as a one size. This one, when I measured it, it is more like 28 and a half. Now that I've washed it, you can see this type of fabric here. It's a cotton hemp French terry. It tends to roll on the sides, so you can kind of unroll it or just use it as is fine too. So how does a thin single layer piece of fabric work as a cloth diaper? It doesn't look very absorbent, just like this. The key is that you're going to fold it before putting it on your baby. We'll look at just a couple folds. There's plenty of videos on YouTube to learn other folds as well. My favorite fold for the newborn muslin flats is the airplane fold, and that's because that fold starts from a rectangular shape, and these flats are a rectangle to start out with. So that just made it easy for me when my baby was a newborn and I wanted something super simple. This is how to do the airplane fold. Take the two lower corners, bring them up until they meet, then bring in each side to the middle. Tuck in the extra here at the top. Then I kind of roll it in between where the baby's legs will be and fold it in to whatever length is the correct rise for my baby. Bring it up, and these wings come around and fasten here. Let's see how I would put this on the baby doll. Line up the diaper on the back approximately equal with the belly button. Now I'm going to roll this in. This is referred to as jelly rolling, and it's especially important with a newborn baby to contain that liquidy poop, to kind of roll it in before passing it between the legs. If necessary, I fan it out a little bit at the front. Now bringing this wing around, I kind of tug it up and bring it forward. Same on this side, tug it up and bring it around. And then I'm going to secure those wings with a fastener. For this example, I'm using a Boingo fastener. Got it on there, and then just make sure it's really rolled in around the legs to get good containment. If you want, you could fold this in a little bit at the back to kind of make a pocket to catch any poop. Again, rolled in nicely, and at this point I would put a waterproof cover on over the flat. My favorite fold to use for square shaped flats, such as this infant size flat by Fruit of the Womb, or for one size flats, is called the Origami fold. So I'll show you how to do that. First, start by spreading out the cloth diaper, and then I fold it once going up this way and once across in this direction. Now I take this top corner here, I can kind of shake it and pull it over to this side. So you end up with a triangle shape here. Hold these two pieces while I flip it over. And now it's kind of like a square over on this side. And at this point I fold it in. You can choose which width to fold this into based on the size of your baby. So folding it like that works well. And then you kind of bring it in, up, and these wings around. So again, line up the top of the diaper approximately at belly button level. And then I start rolling in or pinching in this portion that's going to pass between the legs. Bring it up. Now for this part, you can look up what's called the good key method. You want to kind of bring this wing up a bit before wrapping it around. Since this is a stretchy flat, I can really try to get a good stretch when I pull it across the front here. And then the same thing on this side, kind of bring it up and around the leg and pulling it over. One thing I really like about origami fold with stretchy flats is that sometimes I can get away with just tucking in the end there, especially if I'm using it under a really tight fitting cover that's going to help hold the flat in place. But if you want to be sure that it's going to stay on your baby, then it's probably a good idea to go ahead and use a fastener, such as a snappy fastener, and just make sure it's on there really well. Make sure it's rolled in along the legs. Kind of straighten it out a bit there. And now I can add the cover over top. I like pairing these trim flats with a very trim fitting diaper cover, such as a poopy wool diaper cover. This is the combo that we are often using during the daytime. Fruit of the womb gummy flat with a poopy cover over top. Snap it on. These covers are adjustable, so you can adjust the rise to the right height for your baby, and then bring in the waist snaps to the right size as well. Baby doll's a little bit smaller than my actual baby. So then once you've added the cover over top, make sure all the absorbent flat is tucked inside. You now have a complete cloth diaper. We looked at two different fastener options, Boingo and Snappy. A third option is diaper pins. These ones are slide lock diaper pins from Green Mountain Diapers. So you slide it to open it, to be able to pin it, and then lock it in place when it's on your baby. I've tried these, but I haven't quite gotten comfortable with them, so I usually stick with a Snappy or a Boingo. You can store the pins in a little bit of E-bar or soap to keep them nice and slippery so they'll slide through the fabric. If you want the absolute easiest way to fold a flat cloth diaper, that would be what we call the pad fold, which is basically just folding it into a rectangle. So I could fold it once, fold it again, and then fold it into thirds. And then once it's a nice thin rectangle like that, I could just lay it inside a diaper cover. This tends to work a bit better on a little bit older babies. On newborns, when they still have really runny poop, it might just come off of the flat and get onto the diaper cover. But as they get older and a little bit more solid poop, then that can be one option too if you want something super simple. Here are some various flat cloth diapers. There are two main types. These ones across the top are made of woven fabrics, so they don't stretch. And the ones across the bottom are made of knit fabrics, so they do stretch, and we call them stretchy flats. This is a Cloth-eez Birdseye half flat, so meant for a newborn. It's an adorable tiny little diaper. This is the Cloth-eez newborn muslin flat, so it's also a half flat shape. This is the Cloth-eez muslin flat in the one size. He's 15 pounds, 5 ounces, 28 inches tall, and 5 months old. He's wearing a Cloth-eez one size muslin flat. It's in the origami fold, and it's secured on using a snappy fastener. This is a nice fit on him right now. This is the Cloth-eez Birdseye flat in the one size, and they do also make a large, which is a bit bigger than this. So the muslin ones are a bit fluffier and thicker than the Birdseye. He's wearing a one size Cloth-eez Birdseye flat. This is a very trim flat cloth diaper. This is a one size Thirsties stretchy flat made out of 100% organic cotton. So it has a bit of stretch to it just because of the fact that it's a knit jersey fabric, but there's no additional spandex added to it. So far, all of these options are made just of organic cotton. He's wearing a Thirsties 100% organic cotton stretchy flat. It's in the origami fold. I had to fold in one side first to make it more of a square before doing the origami fold, and it's held on with a snappy fastener. This is a Stretchy flat by Cooper Rose. They specialize in natural fiber diapers, and they have two versions of flats. Play, which is for daytime, and this is Sleepy, so like for nighttime. The Sleepy is a French terry made with organic cotton, hemp, and spandex. Their Play one just has organic cotton and spandex. I got this in the 30-inch square version because I wanted a nice thick nighttime diaper. French terry fabrics are smooth on one side, and then on the other side they have little small kind of flat loops on them, so not as big loops as like a terry towel. Cooper Rose is mindful of limiting the synthetic fibers, so they use a fabric that just has 3% spandex, but it is plenty stretchy in this direction, and then not so much in this direction. But that's definitely a stretchy flat there. When there's hemp blended in, then it tends to get a bit more stiff. So far I haven't had any problem with this one though, but that is something to keep in mind, that cotton's going to be a bit more pliable and hemp can get a bit stiff, especially when it is wet, but it is super absorbent, so that's why I do like having hemp blended in for a nighttime diaper. He's wearing a Cooper Rose Sleepy flat in a 30 inches by 30 inches square in the origami fold, and I just have the wings tucked in without any fastener on it. Let's straighten out the back of it there. Since this flat is a bit bulkier and I use it at nighttime, I often use it over one of our more roomy covers, something like the Bumby Abrazo. This is also really easy to use at night since it has this Velcro hook and loop closure. It's easy to get onto my baby if he's kind of fussy and not wanting to hold still for his bedtime diaper. Another option that I use with our nighttime diapers as well is his wool bubble shorts, because those are plenty roomy to fit over even these bigger size flats. This is a Fruit of the Womb Stretchy flat in the infant size, so I believe it's about 25 inches square. This is the gummy version. It's made with 97% organic cotton and 3% spandex. For natural fiber options, Fruit of the Womb also offers their butter flats, which are made with organic cotton, hemp, and spandex. And they do also have other options that are made with bamboo rayon, bamboo viscose. I believe the fabric used for the Fruit of the Womb gummy flats would be considered a jersey fabric. It's just a thin fabric, it has a bit of stretch this way, and it is smooth on both sides. I think I could have gotten away with using these infant size flats even on my baby as a newborn since they're so trim. We just didn't have them back when he was a newborn baby. He's wearing a Fruit of the Womb gummy flat in the infant size. It's an origami fold with the wings tucked in, and then it has a snappy fastener to secure it as well. And there's a homemade booster in there too. These Fruit of the Womb infant flats are much trimmer, and they're something we use quite often during the daytime. So I will usually pair those under one of our super thin poopy wool diaper covers. This makes a nice trim option together, a trim flat with a trim wool cover. So we really like that during the daytime. This isn't as absorbent, so I don't tend to use this at night. This is a Stretchy flat by the Atlas Butt. Finally seeing a little bit of color here with this printed flat. This one is in their babe size, so it's about 24 inches square. And this is a French terry made with bamboo rayon, bamboo viscose. He's wearing a printed Stretchy flat by the Atlas Butt in the baby size. So this one is 24 inches by 24 inches square. We have an origami fold with a snappy fastener. And you can see sticking out the back there that he has a homemade DIY booster in there as well to add some additional absorbency. And you see here a lot of natural because that's my preference, natural, unbleached, undyed. But if you're into prints or if you're into beautiful hand-dyed flats, there are many work-at-home moms out there who do beautiful tie-dyed or ice-dyed flats, and you'll be seeing some more color coming up in our next video, the part 2, so please be subscribed for that one. These are all single layer flats, but there are also duo flats or double layer flats. This example is by the Atlas Butt. So this printed part is cotton with spandex, and on the other side, sewn to it, is one layer of 100% wool jersey. So this side here is wool, and wool is also great as an absorbent fabric when it's not lanolized. And then this side is cotton. So what I do with this sometimes is I pad fold it and use it just pad folded, or I will use it inside my wool contour diaper, which you'll be seeing in the part 2 video. So you can have double layer or duo flats as well. Now let's talk about boosters and liners. First of all, if the particular flat cloth diaper you're using is absorbent enough on its own, then you may not need to add a booster at all. You can just pair it with a waterproof cover and you have a complete cloth diaper. Now if the flat cloth diaper you're using is not enough absorbency for your baby on its own, then you can add in a booster. This example is a homemade DIY one. I made it with organic cotton velour on top and 2 layers of organic cotton French terry on the back. And I really like cotton velour touching my baby's skin. So if I have a flat in the origami fold, I will just lay this right on top. And this is nice to go against baby's skin. Another option of a type of booster you could use is a hemp cotton booster from Green Mountain Diapers. This is the long size. I had some of these in the small size that I loved when my baby was a newborn for boosting diapers. And then I got this one recently. It's still in the prepping process. And if I was using something with hemp in it, where I would put it instead is inside a little bit away from baby's skin. If it's a little too long, you can kind of fold it to adjust it just right in your diaper. Then this way, the cotton fabric will absorb a bit quicker, and then the hemp will lock in the moisture down there away from baby. So you can just choose depending on the type of booster where you put it. Also, when I'm doing origami folds, sometimes I'll just put the booster right here before I start folding this part in. That's a convenient way to do it. Another option of something you may want to add inside a flat cloth diaper is a stay dry liner. They're most often polyester fleece, but since we're all about natural cloth diapering here on Easy Peasy, I wanted to tell you about some other options. This one is 100% wool. It's a baby greens liner. These are sold through Green Mountain Diapers as well, and you can just lay it on top. It's super soft. I do not put any lanolin on these liners because I don't want them to repel like with a diaper cover. I want the pee to soak through and go to the under layers, and then this wool will act as the stay dry liner. Another natural liner option is silk. That wraps up part 1 of our series all about flat cloth diapers. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll know right away when part 2 comes out. If you're interested in natural cloth diapering, please take a look around our Easy Peasy channel. We have a lot of other videos about cloth diapering with natural cloth diapers and wool diaper covers. I'll see you in part 2.